Welcome back to my social class for class 8 on past chapter, the Indian constituency. So in the first sessions we already found that the need of the constitutions in our country, like the work of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and dear panel members of 7, and how it was implemented in India, which was started from 1946, completed 1949, and forced to come to act from the 1950, 26th of January. There also we found that these rules and regulations how helpful for us, like Article Amendment, Schedule Act, which was helpful for every citizens of India, irrespective caste, color, creed. This law means for all, and where everyone should be abided by this law. This is basic ideas. So today we'll discuss another new topic, and that is the Indian Constitution and their key features. Because everywhere the rules and regulations are there, but some rules and regulations are that much effective, there we have to stand on that. Like as per here, the number 1 is federalism, number 2 parliamentary forms of government, number 3 separations of powers, number 4 fundamental rights, and number 5 secularisms. So these 6 points are the key features of the constitutions of India, where we have to come on here. So as for that, in the first sessions I already explained the meaning of the constituencies and why we should take the constitutions and how it is helping for us, like we are enjoying a universal adult franchise, free from the British government, that means British Raj, and live in a free countries like in India, where we have to dominate it for more than 200 years. So as for here, the first point, now let's discuss that is the federalisms. The federalisms are important because here the main policies and programs of the government, that means get to right for each and every individuals being the country of India, being the peoples of Indian. So what is federalisms? When it refers to the federalisms is the grassroots level of the working capacity of the government. Like we already know that we have parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. The parliamentary forms of government, there we'll discuss on that. Whatever we are elected, whoever elected members are there, that representatives should be go to the parliament. But it is very difficult to look from the Delhi, because Delhi is the capital of India. If all the leaders are in the Delhi, so who will look after the rural area? Who will look after the remote area? So there they need to look after the local people, the rural area, the remote area, and where they can give informations. What are their problems? What are their grievances which they are face, and how we are overcome on that. So that's why the federalisms are set up there. In that federalisms, which especially we believe on the Panchayati Raj system. On that Panchayati Raj systems, like previous year, we refers to the 3 tiers forms of government. Like Anchal members are there, Gram members are there, Jila Parisads are there. So that means they are taking every notes, every problems and grievances from every sector, every corners, and they are brought back to the main center area, which refers like Gram members, Anchal Samiti, like Jila Parisad, which their main work is to be look after the people, like maintenance of road, the makings of drainage, the collections of electricity, the setup of the new school, hospitals, where it is needed for the common people. So because whoever we are elected the leaders, that leaders are unable to go to village and area to area. So then who will give informations? And that's why exactly the federalisms are set up. That is the Panchayati Raj system, where every information should be passed from the ground level, the deep level, to give to the higher level. So that's what refers as the federalisms, which refers to the Panchayati Raj systems, which refers like Anchals are there, Grams are there, Jila Parisad members are there. So Anchals have to be look after, so Grams have to look after their particular segment, and there they are appointed the Anchals to assist them, and that information should be get 3-4 segments, 5-6 segments come together, and it's come under the Jila Parisad member, and Jila Parisads are look upon there, and that information they have to pass to the elected representatives. So that's exactly as the federalisms. The next is the parliamentary forms of government. The parliamentary forms of government, we are in parliamentary forms of government. Of course, we have a parliament, that is the upper house and the lower house. That is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha is known as lower house and Rajya Sabha is known as upper house. And the Lok Sabha, we know that total we have a 543 members are there, and the Rajya Sabha 250 members are there. So whomever during the election time, especially using the universal adult franchise, we are sending our representatives, we are sending our elected leaders to that house where they can be faced, where they can be give informations what we are feeling problem, like the shortage of water supply, like the road connectivities are less, like difficult to get electricity, lack of educational institutions, hospitals. That's all are faced and give by, that's the platform where give by the our elected leaders. So in parliamentary forms of government, I already explained that where we are using our universal adult franchise, that means right to be cast our valuable vote after the age of 18 years, irrespective of caste, color and creed. And once the elected leaders who are contestant in election who are elected, then they have to go to parliament, and there our problems and grievances are to be placed on the tables. That is the parliamentary forms of the governments. And the third one is separations of power. The separations of power, we have to here emphasize the three important terms, and that is legislatures, executives and judiciary. Now here are the legislatures. The legislatures are the elected leaders of the members, elected leaders of the area, like MLA, MP, that's come under the legislature. They are making a law, and after they are making law, rules and regulations that are executed and implemented by the executive. And executives are smaller in numbers, but they have to be execute and implement what the legislatures are made. And after that, finally it's come to the judiciary, and judiciaries, their work is to be make a law and order, maintenance of law and order which are found in the areas. So all the separations of power, the three important points are there, that is the legislature, executives and the judiciaries. The third point, that is the fundamental rights. The fundamental rights are also known as directive principles of state policy. Here on that fundamental rights, we are getting 6 important factors. That means right to be food, right to be live, right to be sleep. So all those come under fundamental rights. So what are the 5 fundamental rights are there? That is the right to be equality. Every peoples are treated to be as equal. There is no high, there is no low in the eyes of the law. Though you maybe have more money, or though you maybe have less money, but in the eyes of the law, you are a citizens of India, you are a citizen of a particular country, and that you should be follow that rules and regulations. So rules and regulations for all, it will be not distinguish or discriminate high caste, low caste, black and white. No, rules and regulations for all, and exactly that right to be equalities are given there, the equal opportunities. The second, so next is the right to be freedom. Every peoples need a freedoms and right. Without right, without freedoms, we are living like in slave. So when it refers to the rights are granted by the society and protected by the law. That's what refers as the right. But the right to be freedom, the freedoms, especially the words especially come from the French revolutions. In French revolutions are started especially they fought for the freedoms, liberty, equality, fraternity, brotherhood, and that's all points are there. So as per that, the right to be freedoms of every people should be there. If the rights of freedoms are not there, then we will go back to the 3,000 years back, where the monarchical systems are there, where tyrannical systems are there, where peoples have become slave and rich only will be rich, the ruling class from only one members, one family. So that kinds of all should be abolished. So that's come under the right to freedom for every citizens. Right to freedom means not that whatever you like you can do, but that should be also guided under the principle, that should be guided under the provided by the Constitution of India. It means not like that you have the right to freedom to do whatever. In the late night you are dancing, in class you stand up and singing and so. No, that should not be there. The right to freedom means not like that. The right to freedom should be written in constituency, protected by the law, and that you should be follow. The next, it is right against exploitations. Like right against exploitation, at recently also you may be heard that like human traffickings are there, sex exploitations are there. So all those kinds of illegal the matters which are happening in the state, on the country, so that should be stopped, and that kinds of should not be there. Like you may be heard about the child labor. They below the age of 12 years should not be work industry, factory and other, because their age is to be work, sorry, their age is to be play and for study. So that things we have to keep in our mind. The next, it is right to freedoms of religions, and right to freedoms of religions come under the secularisms. And the last point is there, the secularism. There we'll discuss on that. And the next is the cultural and educational right. Yes, cultural and educational right for every living, every human being. Every human beings like to be dance, education. They want to take educations. So that's right should be granted. It means not that only the high caste people and upper caste people should study, and the lower caste people should not be go to the study. Only they have to work. No. And this generation, especially after making of new constituencies, it is written that, like earlier, the bondage systems are there. If your fathers, forefathers are the slaves, so you also become as a slave. No. If they become as if they are a slave, now you want to study, now you can go for a study. And you can be dance, you can be sing, no problem. So that's exactly that. The cultural and educational rights are provided for every children. And that's a very important topic. And the next is right to constitutional remedies. So whatever we have a constitutional problems which we are faced, like the Indian constituencies are not rigid, or Indian constituencies are flexible. So when the Indian constituency was written up, during those time, they are borrowing on taking from the other constituency also, like from Australia, like from England, like from USA. So whatever the good things in their rules and regulations, so that's are borrowed from there. That's known as flexible. And if it is not work, then it can be changed again. So when it refers to flexible, it can be changed. It means not that once you write the rules and regulation and law, it will be go for 1,000 years. No. If it is not work, it is not good, then we will drop out. Then we'll take the another one. New rules and regulations which are good. And as for the advancement of the age, we should take the new rules and regulations. Because old one, it may be good for those old, because every day we are updating. Every year we are updating. So as like that, we need a new. So this come under the flexible. So now which refers to the last topic, that is the secularisms. And here I say that the secularisms, that's on the right freedoms of religions. But when it refers to the secularism, in the second chapter also we'll study on the secularism. The secularism means that persons are right to be take any religions. It means not that your fathers are Hindu, your fathers are Muslim, Christian, that your son and daughter also should be follow. No. It is up to you which religions you are prefers, which cultures you want to follow. It means not that it was binded that once you have to follow that you go continue. No. Like if you are Muslim, if you are Hindu, if you are Christian, your parents are like that. If you don't want to be like that, you are believing on some other gods and goddesses, now you can go there. So it should not come a pressure from the external pressure. That means not pressure from your parents' side. It's your right, your life, you should believe. And that's exactly found that. So that is the secularisms, and I think we go detailing more on the next chapter and second chapter on the secularism. And after that, we study the first chapter. In the last session also I said that once you go through there, and if you have found any problems, any difficulties, and without hesitations you can call me or you write on my WhatsApp number. So I try to make it more easy for you, and we'll discuss on that. And the next chapter will go for the secularisms. There we'll discuss more on the religious basis, how the people should follow that. And today mostly the rigid cultures we are not followed here, but today we are more advanced. So due to that cost, we go more advancement on science and technology, and peoples are more advanced. So for today, thank you that much. If you have any doubt and problem, you can be asked me. Thank you.